Hi, this is Janna and welcome to my kitchen. And today I am making French onion soup in a crock pot. For all of you working people, ouch, I just touched the side, don't do that. I've got my Instapot. It's a crock pot, it's a fryer, it can do about anything. It's called a Aura Pro. I don't know if they still make them or not. My son and daughter-in-law gave it to me for Christmas several years ago. And I just love it. And it even makes yogurt because it does low temperatures. And so we've got 6 onions sliced thin. And I use a combination of both the red and the sweet onion, yellow. Or you can use Vidalia. And so that's as easy as this is. And then you cook it in your crock pot for 6 hours. Now, if you don't want to use your crock pot, you can do it on your stove. The heavier pan, the better on your stove. But just use what you have. And these are going to cook way down. This looks like way too many onions. But trust me, it's not. I've got my crock pot searing at 425, and you can see that it is still slow. But you can put this, excuse me, you can put this in your crock pot in the morning and put it on low or high. If you come home for lunch, you can maybe turn it to low. You know your crock pot best. But those onions will just cook and cook and cook. You want them to cook until they are really cooked. And so I would say at least an hour with a regular pot until they're caramelized. I don't know if a crock pot's going to caramelize them all the way. And so I'm going to sprinkle them with 2 tablespoons of sugar, and that will also help the browning and take that sulfury edge off of the onions. And so that's all I have to do now. And I'm going to cover this and I'm going to cook it on high on my crock pot until these onions are completely done. And we will be back. This is, by the way, this is a fast version because you can have a cook of the onions all day long, and when you get home from work, add these last things and just have to cook it for a short while longer. So that's what we're doing today. We'll be back. Okay, this is Janna and we are back, and there are our caramelized onions. Move my lid out of the way here, and see how nice and caramelized those are. That's where you want them to be. Aaron, can you really zoom in on those? Yes, that's beautiful. That's exactly what you want right there, okay? So now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. And we have got to look at my thing here. So we have, this is a fast version. I have a slow version that's old-fashioned French recipe, but this is for, you know, people who want to make it simple. So we're going to use 2 cans of French onion soup. We're going to add 2 cans of beef consommé, which is a very, it's like for a deep concentrated bone broth is basically what that is. And then we're going to use 1 can of the 1 soup can of white wine. I like to use sherry because I have it on hand, because I use it for cooking, Chinese cooking. So I'm going to start out with 1/2 can, and then as it cooks down I can adjust. So I'm going to keep that other 1/2 can for when that's done. And then I have 1 box of beef stock. And so I'm going to put that in just like that. And so now I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper. And then towards the end, I'm going to come in and I'm going to taste it. And I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper. That's for our family because, you know, we like things a little bit spicy around here. And then I'm going to add 2 cans of water to this. And it is going to slow cooked until it's nice and hot. And so, and we want to reduce that sherry. And so that is very important to do that. So I'm going to add these 2 cans of water and we'll be back. You can always tell. Okay, we're back, getting ready to finish up our onion soup here. Erin bought a baguette for me when she was at the store the other day, and so I'm just cutting them very thin like that, and we're going to put those on top of our onion soup, French onion soup. So just like this. And then I'm going to lay these out and we're going to bake it. I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees. And got my brush and I've got some olive oil. And if you want to flavor your olive oil with some garlic, you can do that too. But I didn't want to compete with the onion. I love the onion. And so it's just as simple as this. You can use butter if you want to, but the olive oil makes them traditionally and crispy. And so then we'll layer these on top of our French onion soup and then top them with some provolone cheese. And then put it in the broiler to melt the cheese in our soup bowls. And so I'm going to keep doing this. Erin went out to the garden and got some fresh chives. And so I'm going to put some fresh chives on these baguettes. Make a delicious little crouton to put on top of our French onion soup. How simple is that? And I think at Walmart, the baguette was $1 and change. So, I mean, it wasn't very much at all. So this is just so good. I know that up north they used to use like a Dutch rusk bread in the soup, but any bread you have that's dense and toasted will work fine. And so then I'm just going to put them over here. I've got a wire rack with parchment underneath. And then just watch them closely when they go in your oven. And we will be back and we're going to serve up some soup and broil it. Hi, this is Janna and our soup is done. Look. And I went in and I added some thyme leaves because I like that. And I also added a bay leaf. And so if you don't like those, then don't add them in. And so I've got 2 soup bowls here. And so I'm going to load up, and these are oven-proof soup bowls. Very important, okay? Gotta have those. These are kind of crocks. Here's one. And then we're gonna put those baguettes on top and broil them. And you can get as many onions as you want. Good football Sunday going on in the back. This would be great to serve for a party, for a football party too. Because you can do it ahead of time. You can do it the day before and then just put it in your crock pot. And so we're going to be right back. I'm going to turn around here so we can finish these off. So we'll be right back. Okay, and in the background you can see our little croutons, the baguette croutons. And so I'm going to put those into the soup. And then layer, just like at the steakhouses, layer on my cheese. There's lots of difference. You can use whatever cheese your family likes, okay? Oopsie, I got ahead of my croutons there. Started to put the cheese on. I'm excited for that bubbly cheese. I've got my oven set to broil. I'm gonna get one more slice of cheese here, and we're going to broil that just until the cheese is bubbly. You don't want to over broil your cheese or it just is one big hard slab. It's hard to eat. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We broiled. It took a little over a minute in my broiler anyway to get that cheese nice and melty and starting to brown, and that soup is ready. That French onion soup with homemade baguette croutons is ready. What a wonderful fall, and easy and quite inexpensive for as many servings as you get. So, and if you want to, when you're browning the onions, you can add some sliced mushrooms, your favorite kind of mushrooms, to it too, and make it a French onion mushroom soup. Whatever you like, you be creative. Thank you for stopping by Janna's Kitchen.